What is going on, YouTube fitness family? You know what, I got these. It can only mean one thing. Chest day. No, I'm just giving a fuck. It is leg day. It is my favorite day of the week. I get to do it twice, so it's technically my favorite 2 days of the week. The reason I love legs so much is obviously it's a challenge, but I think it's like the most aesthetic part of physique. If you got some nice legs, I think that beats anything. So I'm gonna give you guys, walk you through my full leg day today. It's usually a grind. I'm gonna probably kill myself. I might not make it to the end, but if I do, it's gonna be solid. Let's get it. All right, we're hopping into it. As always, start on the leg press with my opener. So even if I don't start on the leg press or the vertical leg press, I'll usually do this just to open up the hips and the glutes. I'm very lucky to have two very deep leg presses at this gym. But what I do is I always tell people, put the back plate in the highest position. So a lot of people put it back the farthest, but that's gonna disable you from getting that range of motion. That's super deep depth. And what you can see too is I let my knees track outside of my upper body, so I don't let it run into my chest, and that's how I'm able to get really deep and also stay super ergonomically sound, so my butt can stay planted against the pad even when I'm stretching. What I would suggest is starting really light on this, and don't do like as long of a hold as I do. I'll hold this fucking thing for like 3 minutes with 3 plates on each side, but I would say start out with 1 plate, maybe 1 1/4, kind of open up the hips, open up the glutes. You can use your hands to kind of support on your feet, pushing the knees out, kind of like a butterfly stretch. I literally do this at the beginning of every workout to open up my hips, my glutes, my adductors. I feel like on leg day when I would start with like a heavy squat, or even if I warmed up, I'd feel like my lower back would get really tight. Whereas if I can pre-exhaust with my leg presses, everything else just kind of feels really good. I mean, it burns, but in all the right places. Whereas I feel like when I used to do legs and I wouldn't focus on doing something like this, I'd feel like it was hard, but it was like hard for the wrong reasons. Like things would hurt, my lower back would hurt, or my knees would hurt. Whereas I don't have any knee pain anymore, knock on wood, any lower back pain. I think it's just a testament to just like starting and doing all this mobility work to start, and then everything I can do from here on out. I'm never hindered by my mobility. It's just a matter of like whether I can move the weight or not. So yeah, I would suggest really working in these length and range of motion. You'll feel better, you'll perform better. And yeah, so I'm gonna sit here for another fucking 2.5 hours, and then I'll catch you guys my first working set. So I got 5 plates on there. So this is just like an activation set for me, just a warm-up set. Really like focusing on that slow eccentric, good arch in the back, flat back, big stretch. Obviously you don't have to go down this far, guys, if you're not there yet. But you can see I'm still planted. I don't even have to hold my butt down at this point, because the mobility is so good. But this for me like feels good, weirdly enough. I know people are like, oh, it looks like you're about to fucking give birth. It felt like it the first like 100 times I did it, but now it feels pretty manageable. So like I said, I'm just trying to drive a good amount of blood flow in the quads. When I stretch this, I get so much knee flexion, which means the bend of the knee, that angle, is actually stretching the quad at the bottom of the rep, and also stretching through my glutes, hamstrings, and adductors. So I'm getting a lot of that benefit of applying force in that stretch position. You're getting really comfortable with that force, right? Like a lot of people are strong, like leg press. Sure, you can put fucking 12, 15 plates on there and go like this, right? Everybody's strong there, or even there. Everybody's strong there. It's gonna put a lot of pressure on your knees though, especially with weight that's far superseding what I'm doing right now. So instead, turn the toes out. Let the knees track the toes. So I'm gonna let the knees track outward, which is gonna allow for that much more depth without compromising that position of letting my butt roll off the seat. Because inevitably, if I have my knees closer, of course it's gonna run into my upper body and my butt's gonna roll off. But ergonomically speaking, if my knees track out, I'm much more able to keep that butt down on the pad, even in that stretch position. So what I'm gonna do here, probably, I'm not even gonna count my reps, probably like 12 to 15, just really getting good activation, blood flow, getting really comfortable at the bottom of the rep. Sometimes I'll do kind of some of those like slightly double contractions where I'll get to the bottom, come like up like 2 to 3 inches. Like that, maybe once or twice, drive it through the whole foot. A lot of people either say like drive through the toes or drive through the heels. What I kind of tell people is like drive through the outside of your entirety of your foot, and what that'll allow you to do is get the best of both worlds. You get a lot of quad drive, but also a lot of glute and hamstrings, and that's why to me leg press is kind of up there in my top 2 to 3 exercises of any exercise for leg development. The risk reward is very low in terms of high reward, low risk. You've got a tremendous amount of stimuli and a crazy amount of range of motion when done correctly. So you're kind of checking all the boxes. And this exercise also helped me actually improve my mobility, which is kind of crazy to say. Like most people wouldn't say like, oh, do the leg press to improve your mobility, but look at this shit. Like with 5-10 plates on their total, I can get this like knees almost behind me. I think for me, it's something that's kept me super healthy and helped me grow my legs tremendously. So try it out. I call this my probably first true working set. So we got 7 plates on each side. Same impetus, slow eccentric. Breathing techniques on this type of rep. I take a big breath in before I go down on my eccentric, but there's no way I'm holding my breath. My reps take me like 15 seconds sometimes per rep. So I'm just kind of controlled breathing. So big breath in. Breathe out as I go down. And then I'm just controlling my breathing. So I'm not like trying to hold my breath. Drive out. So good depth, letting those knees clear, feeling that nice stretch through the quads, through the glutes, and then pushing out. So the reason I don't lock in with my hands, which I think you should at the beginning, first of all, my mobility is very good. I don't feel like I necessarily need to lock it in to hold my butt down. Also, my arms are so big that it prohibits me from getting my full depth, so I gotta clear them. So I'm going anywhere from 12 to 15 on this slow eccentric. Breathing controlled, knees clear. Feel that stretch, hold that stretch position, and then dig out. Another big question I got, lockout at the top of the rep. I don't generally full lockout. 2 reasons for that. One, I wanna maintain tension. So this is basically where I hit at the top of my rep. So as you can see, I still have a slight knee bend. I'm not completely locking out. Second thing is safety. I don't think you'll really have a problem locking out as long as you don't fucking jar it up, like really toss it up there and explode and then lock out. If you don't do that, you'll probably be fine. I just like to keep a little bit of tension through my quads, through my hamstrings, even at the top of my rep. 2 more. The burn now is getting pretty gnarly. 1 more. As Phil would say, sensational. So absolutely just completely destroyed myself on those leg presses as usual. So now we're gonna work into some hamstring movements since my hamstrings are absolute garbage. So what we're gonna do first is a deficit RDL. Why would you do a regular RDL when you could do a deficit and absolutely nuke your hamstrings with that extra stretch? So what we're gonna do, set up, I have 4 boxes here, so I'm probably about, I'd argue about 8 inches off the ground. I'd have no idea what 8 inches looks like if you catch my drift, but it seems like that's really what 8 inches looks like. We're gonna unrack it here, and you see how I kind of have it set right on my quads. So that's how I kind of know how I'm distancing myself. So with a slight knee bend, kind of how I'd be doing the movement. I don't go completely straight legs on these. I just have a very slight knee bend. I know exactly where I'm going to position myself. So I'm up, I'm elevated. I use my lifting grips on this because I just don't want to have to think about my grip while doing these because I'm doing them in such slow capacity. So what I'm going to do is lift off. Good proud chest. I'm going to go slow on that eccentric, controlling it through the hamstrings. Proud chest. Big stretch through those hamstrings. Drive up and squeeze. I kind of look straight ahead on these. Hinge at the hips, up and squeeze. So I'm not trying to lift the world on these. I have 2 plates on each side. It's giving me enough stimulus with weight, but I'm focusing more on the time and retention and the range of motion to drive development in those hamstrings. Also, this Smith machine unfortunately doesn't go quite as deep as other ones, so that's why I need to be so elevated as compared to if I was just using a regular barbell. The reason I like the Smith machine is I can almost pull back on the bar as much as I'm pulling up. So I'm kind of driving back with the butt, pulling up and back, squeezing those hamstrings and glutes. I'm gonna go for 10 to 15 on these. Third exercise, we're going to do a deficit split squat, Bulgarian. Just everybody's favorite exercise to hate, and I understand why. It's brutal. and now you add a deficit to it, also brutal. So this is nice because you already have that set up with the box. All you do is set up a bench behind you. And I dropped this down to about 3 boxes, or 2 box, 3 box, so it's about 6 inches, I believe. And so what I'm gonna do is really fight for a good range of motion, keep a nice proud chest. So the way to set these up, guys, you want this box like just barely in front of the bar, and then I would set the back bench about 2 feet back. So just use 1 foot, put a second one back, and that's right where you kind of want it centered. With my opposite toe still planted for safety, I'm gonna unrack, step all the way up, make sure the bar is nice and comfortable, wrap those hands back. I'm gonna set my back foot, set it flat. You want your back leg to almost be a guide leg, more so than like an actual plant leg. You don't wanna drive much power through your back leg. So what I'm gonna do is go nice and slow on the down, keeping a nice proud chest. See how much flexion I get through that front quad. Then I'm gonna drive out. So this is great for quad and glute on that front leg. So stretch, push out, squeeze, slow eccentric. Chest nice and open, stretch, push, squeeze. Gonna go for 12 reps each side. But big form cues, slower eccentric, milk that stretch at the bottom of the rep, milk the stretch, then push consciously through the heel on your front foot. So the foot on the box, push through that heel. Nice and controlled. So we're not actually exploding out of the bottom of the rep. We're driving consciously through that front leg. What I like to do, 20 to 30 seconds between the legs. And the reason I don't just jump from one to the other is I don't want to be aerobically super taxed going into my left leg and basically suffer performance-wise because of my lungs. Not because my leg's getting tired, because I'm getting aerobically taxed. So what I do is let my lungs come back under me. Those sets are aerobically taxing because it's a lot of balance, core, super deep range of motion. And those set was probably 1.5 minutes long. So all those factors combined, you need longer rest. So I'm gonna rest between 30 and 45 between my 2 legs. Let me get my bigger rest before I start into the next full set. But I see a lot of people jump from one leg into the other, probably just to get it the fuck over with, which I understand. But you don't wanna rush this stuff, guys. Everything worth having takes time, and Bulgarian split squats. Those are the 2 main takeaways. All right, so 3 sets there on the deficit, and then we're gonna do a seated hamstring curls. So at this point, pretty fried, but I'm gonna really focus on big stretches on these. So I have this in the highest stretch position. I'm gonna lock this knee pad down as far as I can get it so I can get as much stretch as possible at the top of my rep. So I'm gonna push this down. I'm locked in. What I do is reach forward so I can dig underneath and keep a little bit more leverage over it so that I can get more stretch here and more peak contraction at the bottom without it traveling into my lower back and into my glutes. So I'm gonna get a big stretch here, slow eccentric, reach for it, dig in and squeeze. Nice arch in the back, good posture. Slow on the eccentric, reach for that stretch, and then dig underneath. Pull those heels as hard towards your butt as possible, and then slow on the up. And what this is gonna do by being in this upright position, it's gonna allow for more stretch here, and like I said, a little less impetus on the lower back, and it really allows you to isolate over the movement pattern. It's not taking us to failure, but anywhere with 12 to 20. Slow on the eccentric, dig up and squeeze. Ah! Tremendous burn there. Oh, that I think is probably, the best hamstring isolation you can do. Personally, in my humble opinion, if you have a good seated hamstring. The reason for that is by being completely locked in the top of your quads, it disables momentum, disables using your lower back, so or your glutes. So on a lying hamstring curl, inevitably you can use a lot of lower back and arching, even glute drive, whereas this is completely clear. It's almost like a bicep curl for your hamstrings. And so if you're not doing them, I would highly recommend adding these. I do these more frequently than the lying hamstring curls. The lying hamstring curls have their own benefits, but if you want to have really deep, dug out, detailed hamstrings, I'd suggest seated hamstring curls, heavier as opposed to like a seat or a really heavy deadlift or really heavy RDL. I think it's safer. I think it's gonna give you more bang for your buck overall, specifically for hamstrings. I'm absolutely fucked right now. So we're gonna do some calves to finish out. Legs look stupid if your quads and hamstrings are super big and your calves are tiny. I don't have very big calves, so don't judge me on that, but what we're gonna do is make them grow right now. Seated calf raise, probably my favorite of the calf raises. We have a standing one here, a donkey. Donkey calf's really good too. It just tends to be a lot more setup because I have to put extra weight on it. It's very easy for me. So what I'm gonna do is really focus on a really nice stretch at the bottom of the rep. They've proven, especially for calves, so if you load weight in that stretch position and hold that stretch, it's gonna get a lot of hypertrophy, and then also has that duality of opening up stretching that tissue. So the last thing we want is to fucking tear our Achilles because we have super tight calves. So it's a good way to open up your calves at the same time of working them out. So usually just take these to pretty much failure. Really good stretch, look it in, drive it out, squeeze the top, 12 to 15 usually, sometimes a little more than that. Rack, only go about 30 to 40 second rest on these. And then I usually just go down in reps. So I'll go from like 12 to 15, down to 12, down to 10, down to 8, basically whatever failure point is with lower rest times. I don't want to sit here doing calves for fucking 30 minutes. So I'll usually cut down the rest times, and then I inevitably can't do quite as many reps on my subsequent sets, but the fatigue is a lot higher. So I'm getting just as much hypertrophy as if I did longer rests and let that fatigue kind of flush out. Ooh, ow, it burns. 5 sets there, 30 to 40 second rest. Try to just get as much fatigue built up in your calves as possible. Obviously I've got 4 plates on here. I'd start, if you're just starting on these, just go 1 plate on one side just to feel it out. Because you don't want to get really heavy in that super stretch position if you're not used to it. So that's how you get injured. So start really light. You'll probably be able to bump up the weight pretty quickly. So yeah, 5 sets here. That'll fucking get us to the end of the workout. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And I'll outro this video and we'll do all the bullshit where I tell you to subscribe to my channel and love me forever. But until then, we'll do some more calves. All right, that is a wrap. As promised, got to outro this video in style. If you guys are loving these videos, please, I know I was joking about it earlier, but please, it means the world to me. Subscribe to this channel, turn on the post notifications. I'm putting out 2 to 3 amazing videos every week, sometimes more. I'm trying to bang out as much content as possible. I'm getting so much positive feedback on the workout videos, on the top 5 videos, so please keep coming back. It is what helps me grow the channel. Also, what helps the channel, support me, support Alpha Elite. Go use my code ERIC. These sick ass compressions, the shorts, everything is the best apparel I've ever tried, so go use the link there. Without further ado, guys, I will catch you guys on the next workout.